Hello, stamping friends. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey, and it's time for our Facebook Live this week. Let me see if I can get the screen to come up. Looks like it's working. So I hope you'll join me and leave me a comment while you're here. So we're going to make a card, and I was digging through some older cards to be able to share with you the design, but I couldn't find them, so I couldn't find one with this design. It's one we did about a year ago, and it's just a fancy fold, and I don't know what it's called, so we're just going to call it Fancy Fold today. So you might have purchased Thoughtful Journey DSP because it's beautiful and has the prettiest designs that you can use. But if you'll notice, I have a lot of this and this left over because I couldn't figure out what to do with them. So I decided that this one would work perfect for fall. And so we're going to make a fall card. But then with this design, I think we could do something similar for a birthday card. And this one, we could do something similar for a birthday, or it could be sympathy, I think, because these are nice and soft. But we're going to do a fall card today because Thanksgiving's coming, and right after that will be Christmas. So we got to get those cards taken care of. So we're going to match this with these two pieces. I played with this and thought that it would be Calypso Coral, and it could be, but I actually think for fall we're going to go with the copper clay. And let me get that up in the screen better. And I just thought the Calypso Coral was a tiny bit bright. So I don't know. I do need another piece of copper clay here. So let me get that. And I think I have everything else. It will be a surprise, won't it? If we can get it all together. So we're going to use copper clay, wild wheat, and guess what I thought went with this? This is peach pie glimmer paper, but it just goes with it so nicely. So I went ahead and pre-cut these two pieces just because they're a little bit putsy there. So let's get started. I'm going to move my pad out of the way for just a minute because we're going to do some scoring. Oh, I should have told you. We're going to use the Autumn Leaves. It's stamps and dies, and it was in the catalog, the holiday catalog last year, I think, and it's online only right now. So if you didn't get this last year, it's probably one of my favorites of all time. I really used this one a lot last year, but now I need to breathe some new life into it with that pretty paper. So that's what's good about Stampin' Up. They always give us some options. So I have a piece of copper clay, 11 by 4 1/4. And we're going to do some scoring. I'll try to go slow so you can get that. So we're going to score at 1 1/4. 2 1/4, and 3 1/4. And then we're going to flip it over and do that again. So that's 1 1/4, 2 1/4, and 3 1/4. We'll go ahead and cut some paper now. Now this is going to be some side pieces. So they're going to be, actually I'm going to do these at, yeah, 1 1/8. I was trying to decide. And I need 2 of them, so 2 at 1 1/8. And they're going to be 4 1/8. And then that kind of looks like mossy or lake water. I don't know for sure. All right, we're going to let this one be 4 1/8. Yeah, we want that. We want to get this grassy part up there. And then we want this at 4 1/8 again. Let's see, I kind of want more of this showing. Yeah. So we'll cut it from that side. So you're going to see this larger part that has all the seagrass or whatever we would call that. And I think that's going to be all our cutting. So we'll move the trimmer. And see if we can get started with a little bit of stamping. This actually can have all kinds of, it can have stamping, it can have die cutting. We're going to go ahead and do all our creases. It's a trick to make sure you get all your lines, because they're hard to see sometimes where you scored them. Oh, hi Jenny, hi Karen and Polly. Hope everyone's doing well today. Trisha. Okay, so now we have this little kind of stand-up card. We're going to do a little surgery on it. We can go ahead and put our Thoughtful Journey DSP in there. That actually needs to be trimmed down a little bit. Oh, no, it doesn't. There, that works. It's just going to be a thin piece of the copper clay showing. You know, I bet Cajun Craze would work for this too. I just didn't check that. I think because copper clay was right next to my Calypso coral, and so that's why I pulled it off the shelf. Now our little 1 1/8 pieces are going to go here on the side panels. with just our small little amount of border. Let's get over there a little bit. There we go. All right, now we have our design sort of started. I'll get my piercing mat back and we'll do some stamping. So I have 1 inch pieces of, is this wild wheat? Is that what I said? And we're going to measure. I think it is all we need is like 4 1/4, but I wanted to make sure 4 1/4 will work fine. So we'll trim that down to 4 1/4. We'll see if that's, yes, that's going to create a little bridge for us. So I pulled out from the stamp set. I am with a grateful heart. I thought that was a pretty good Thanksgiving kind of card. But you know, this could also be a thank you card with that sentiment. Now we're going to stamp towards the right side. You can change this. It can be right side, left side. There's no, or it could be in the center. It's no rules. That's what's fun about this layout. You can change things around. So we're going to put that bridge on here, and that way we can work on something else while this is getting dry. You only want the glue on the ends. Good. Not upside down. Now you could also choose for this to, your bridge to be towards the top or towards the bottom, depending on what kind of DSP or pattern you're using. And I'm going to put this block on there to hold it down while we do something else. So we're going to die cut some of these cute little, is that like a maple leaf, I think? So we're going to cut 2 of those, and I think I can just fold that over and cut 2 at one time. So we'll get that one ready to go. And then we're going to make kind of a wreath, I guess. So we're going to take 2 of the circles. What are these stylish shapes? And we're going to make just this outside part will become a wreath for us. So we're going to die cut them both at the same time. Let's get some more tape for that. Well, oh, here's right here in front of me. It was white, so I guess I didn't notice it. Now for me, I kind of need to hold these down because they slide, and you want as close to getting it Let's just do one. Hold it down, then we'll do the other. Yeah. And now we can run that through. And we can do the leaves at the same time. I know I've gone through 2 packs of this paper, Trisha, except for these few patterns. So now I'm going to make some with those patterns. And we'll run that through the cut and emboss machine. That looks like that worked just fine. Oh, excuse me, I hit the cord on my phone. So it's like a little earthquake. Okay. Now we have our wreath. If it's not perfect, see, I can see right there it's off. It's going to get covered up with the leaves, so it'll be fine. And I don't think anybody's going to pick at it because they're going to be glad to get a card, perfect or not. Now we have 2 pretty leaves to go with our peach pie glitter. Now we'll put our dies over here so I won't lose them. And let's see what we can do now. Here's our card. Now, do you see how this is going to work? It will stand up, but will still go in your envelope just perfect. And so, because this is only like 4 1/4, and this is 4 1/4, some of your elements can hang off the side if you want them to, because they'll still fit in your regular envelope. So if I wanted this wreath to, go over a little bit, that would be fine. And I think we might do that. So we're going to take our wreath, and I think we will put that little thinner part towards the bottom. You only want your adhesive towards the bottom. Otherwise, it will stick to your inside of your card. All right, now that's on there nicely. I'm going to glue my leaves down. I think it would be fine if you used a dimensional, but for this one, I'm just going to let everything be kind of flat. It's already got dimension with the fold. You'll notice I'm not putting adhesive up here because we have to sneak those little peach pie branches under there. And so we don't want to have to worry about a lot of glue being in the way. Now, I think this stem is a little bit too long, so I'm going to cut it off. Even if that snipped those in two, that would be okay because we could still adhere them separately. And we're going to sneak that down there pretty far. The same with this one, we'll trim it off. You know, fall is my favorite time of the year. Still kind of warm, but not freezing cold. And I love the changes of the leaves. We don't want to cover up our sentiment too much. Let's see. Can we, I think what we can do is, yeah, there we go. Kind of bend that part that's under there. Isn't that pretty? Now here I'm going to put a little adhesive underneath the branches just so it'll be easier to get it in the envelope. Sometimes those things snag. Thank you, Tricia. I hope this is going to be a pretty card. You know, I didn't stamp at all this weekend, so having to get back to it. I spent time sewing instead. Too many crafts, not enough time. I'll put just a little bit under here. That does help stabilize those little thin branches. Now we need something else. We're going to have to put some ribbon and some bling. So we're going to start with just a small piece of wild wheat. I wish we had glimmer copper back, but the shiny copper ribbon, I think it would look pretty on this, but we're going to use some twine. This is a new bundle. Yeah, there we go. We're going to do about 19 inches. That might be too much, but it's hard for me to tie it when it's too short. Now we're going to double this because I want my bow to be fluffy. And we'll get that started. And now we can run our ribbon through that. We're just going to make kind of a tied piece of ribbon. Just make our own embellishment. See if I can get it tight. I got glue on my fingers. Now that's just a sweet little bow. This ribbon does tend to fray, which is why I cut it a little longer, because now I can just trim that off. It shouldn't bother us if it frays a little bit, but it does. Now we'll tie this in a bow. Pull those. Can't see where the, which one is the, there we go. Oops. Can't tell which loop to pull. That's kind of fussy, isn't it? I am not happy with that. Let's try it again. I think it's because it's 2 pieces of linen thread. I'm not getting that bow quite as pretty as I would like. Let's see if we can do a little better. Oh, that's easier. Much better. Now we'll trim the extra off. I think that 19 inches was just about right. Because now we don't have too much to cut off. Okay, there's our bow. It's going to go right there. So we need some glue dots to put there. I'm going to put a couple because that's pretty heavy and we don't want it to fall off. And it'll be behind the ribbon so nobody will know. And we'll put a couple here. And maybe one more. Now you're going to have to help me figure out bling. There's our little fake ribbon bow. Now, you know, you're going to wonder, you can't sign this card right here. So we're going to sign it on the back. So I have a piece of Whisper White, or basic white. Let's see if that's too big. So it needs to be trimmed down to like a little smaller. Let's get that trimmer here and see. I think we'll do 4 1/4. It'll be fine for it to have a little border around it. Maybe I wasn't thinking when I... still a little bit here. Let's go with 4 4-inch square. And then we know it will work fine. Won't have to wonder. Get our mat back. So this is where you would put your, you can still sign it because it lays down flat. It's a little lumpy, but it's not that bad. So we're going to stamp. Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. And that's a nice sentiment. Okay. That's good. Now we're going to stamp a leaf using the wild wheat. But I'm going to stamp it off so it's not real dark. I wish this set had that small leaf, but it doesn't. It just has this larger one, which works fine. And we'll stamp that off. And now we can put this so it's a little lighter. And then you still have room to sign it. This has taken me a while to get to this color, to where I like it. So I think it's one of those things you have to use so you'll get used to a different new color. It's definitely great for fall cards. Now, I was just thinking, I wonder what other, you know, the lavender, you could do the paper with the lavender and have the spray of lavender coming across here. So many choices of how you can do that. I'm going to put a little bit of glue under that wreath up at the top, because we can do that now that we know where the top part is. That'll hold that down. Let's put our block on it for a minute. I'll put my glue away, and then we'll talk about bling, because I have no idea what I want. So I have the dots that are the in color dots, so we could use this wild wheat. This is kind of a light yellow, would show up nicely on there. And these are natural sequins. I think this would look lovely with it. The copper looks nice. So what do you think? Copper, just the light yellowy color. I think that's too dark. I'm kind of leaning to the copper. So let's try it. If we're real careful, we can take it off if we don't like it. Now, these are called natural sequins, so they're the copper looks like a little bit of early espresso. Just doesn't want to. And gold, and then frosted white. I think we can get the bigger one here. And let's put one of the larger right about there. So there's our card. It's just, I'm a sucker for a stand-up card. And I think that one works just fine. Just pops right out from when you get it out of the envelope. It'll just pop out, and whoever receives it can enjoy looking at it. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to make one of these stand-up, pop-out cards. I don't know what it's called. I'll have to look on Pinterest and see if this has a name, because I have no idea. Well, thanks for joining me today. Not too many mistakes. I'm proud of myself. Because sometimes I really mess up, but we all do, don't we? All right, I will hopefully see you soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.